Good morning. Welcome to Crocker's Crazy Living. Today is Wednesday, about 9:35 in the morning on July 24th. Welcome into my kitchen if you're new. If you've been with me for a while, welcome back. This morning we are going to do sour cherry jelly, or jam, not jelly. So I had some cherries that I had bought at Costco in my freezer. I bought them a little while ago. I had a couple of bags. I was making cherry pies with them and different things. So I thought that I would go ahead and use up my cherries. And because I had the cherries, I have the sugar. I only had to go and buy me some fruit pectin, which I get the Sure-Jell. So I decided to go ahead and use that up and try some cherry jam. I have never made cherry jam in the past, but I used to have a friend that lived up north. We used to have, when I was a child, we used to have a couple of cherry trees in our yard. And when we moved to Florida, before the house was sold, she would go over there every time the cherries were ripe and pick whatever cherries that she wanted, and we gave her permission. And then she would make cherry jam, or she would actually make the jelly. She'd strain it out and make the jelly and everything. And she would ship it to Florida for us to enjoy. And I always remember that because I just thought that was the sweetest thing. But I'm going to go ahead and use up these cherries. So I have my Ball canning book. This is a really old sorry about my voice today. This is a really old canning book, and it's just a paperback, but it really has served me well over the years because I use a lot of recipes out of here. Because sometimes I have a nicer book. It's hardback, but if I'm looking for a particular recipe, sometimes they're not in that one. The other day when I was looking for something, I actually had to go online and try to find it because none of my books had it. So that's an interesting concept. So this cherry jam recipe calls for 1 quart of chopped and pitted sweet or sour cherries. So I'm using sour cherries. So what I did is in my pot here, I took my cherries and I kind of zapped them a little bit in my my Ninja. But I was finding that the Ninja is actually pureeing it pretty well. So I threw some in there that I had zapped, and then I threw just a handful that I had left over of whole cherries because they'll cook down a little bit. And I don't mind chunks of cherries in my jam. I don't mind that. That's why they call it jam. If I wanted to make jelly, I would have to strain this. So I don't want to do all that. So this is just a smidge over 2 quarts. So I'm going to try it because when I asked Google, I ask her a lot of information sometimes. When I asked her about how much does 1 quart of frozen cherries weigh, she told me between 1 1/4 pounds to 1.5 pounds. So you're kind of taking a chance there, on being exact on your ingredients. So this is just a little over 2 quarts. Okay, I'm going to go for it and see how it is. So I have all my jelly jars washed. One recipe should give me 6 half pints. So since I'm doing a double batch, and I know in the past I've always said never to double your recipes, but I'm going to wing it because I really don't want to do this twice. So I'm going to just wing it. I got my big stock pot because I have to put 10 cups of sugar in here and 2 packs of Sure-Jell. So I got my jelly jars all washed, and my rings and my my lids. And I don't have lids. All right, here's my lids. I don't even just keep them over here. I got, so as I was going through my box of jars, I discovered this jar. Now, when my husband decides he's going to share some of my canned goods with his friends, we ask people to not throw the canning jar away, to save it for us, and save us the band, the ring that goes on it. We don't care if they save the lid, because the lids I can't reuse. But we always ask for those jars back because they're expensive, you know. So in my box of jars, I found this jar. It just looks like a plain jar. There's no writing on it. So therefore, I mean, I could use it to store something in if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'm going to I could use it for a drink glass. I might do that. I don't know. But there's no writing on it that says that it's a canning jar. Usually they'll say Mason, Perfect Mason, Ball, or the other brand. I can't remember the other brand right offhand of jars. There's a few brand of jars, but it'll say that on the jar. So I'm thinking I'm going to just throw this in the recycling because I can't use it for canning if I don't know if it's safe for canning. Because if it's not safe for canning, chances are when I put this in my water bath or my pressure canner, it will break. And then I'll get another mess on my hands. So I'm going to put that jar aside, and I'm probably just going to put it in the recycle bin. So we're going to get this jam going. Now, what I did discover and that I wanted to share with you, inside these Sure-Jell boxes, there used to be a paper insert that was glued to the package that had all kinds of recipes in it. I mean, all kinds. Freezer jam recipes, cooked jam recipes, and it was very helpful. It's step-by-step instructions on how to use the pectin. And recently, as I've been buying pectin, there's no inserts in the box. And I thought, okay, they might have missed a box. Well, this is the third or fourth time that I've gone to the store, in different stores, not the same store, and gotten boxes of pectin with no inserts. So I just decided to check out the box. And on the back of the box, there's a QR code right there. So that probably takes you to their website, and you can get their recipes there. I don't think I like that. I don't know if they're calling it an enhancement or, you know, progress. But there's still people out there that don't have access to technology. I mean, there are some people that still don't have cell phones, that don't know how to run a computer, don't know how to go on a website. There are people out there that don't know how to do that. And relying on a QR code now for a recipe, if you by chance don't have a canning recipe book, I don't like that. I mean, I don't think that's right. Just because the world, scan here for more food information. Just because the world is going techno doesn't mean everybody else is. A lot of people are living off the grid, you know. I mean, just because they want to. They want to get back to simpler times. So, I don't know. I don't think I like that. Luckily for me, I've got access to the web and all kinds of different things. I've got Canon cookbooks. I've got recipe books for everything. Because not that because I have to have that stuff. I collect cookbooks. I love cookbooks. I like to sit and read a cookbook and find a good recipe and, you know, just go through things. I like to do that. I don't like to read a lot, but I like to read cookbooks. And yeah, that's interesting. And I did save myself one of these inserts and put it in to a folder that I have with all kinds of my recipes in it. And I might just keep that for reference. I mean, I don't know. I have all these books, so I really don't need it. So, okay. The next step is to I don't think I can hook that on there either. The next step is to go ahead and put my, trying to adjust you a little bit better so you can see what's going on, is to put my big pot on the stove. And then put my pectin in there and bring it up to a boil. So I can't take you to the stove because this stand I got with the gooseneck on it to make it to where I could bend it around a little bit better. My phone is one of those flip phones. It's pretty heavy. So it pulls the stand over. So I have to find a sandbag or something heavy to put on the leg of the stand, because right now I have it taped down and clamped down to my table. So I can't move you around. So we'll go ahead and we'll get this jam going, and maybe I'll pause you and then I'll be right back.